teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway. Knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85.
Take a look, Chicago, you can smell it in the air. There's a hungry team called the Soldier Field going nuts, jumping out their chair. Teams rather be anywhere but here. We don't care if it's below zero. Let it talk before the snow, we still gon' break holes. If we win the point flip, we choosing to kick. Cause we got a defense that love to hit. Polarize the link with our smash mouth beats. Slicing up teams like Mike Singletary. Forever repping the seat, making Papa Bear proud. Giving Chicago something to shout about.
We the Bears, monsters of the
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Panda and Grizzly Show. I'm Brian the Grizzly here along with Grant, and we got Baron. How you guys feeling?
I'm feeling great.
Feeling good.
Feeling good, and man, training camp is here. We got guys coming back off injury, so looking forward to seeing when the preseason games start.
I'm hot. I don't know about y'all, but it was hot as crap the last couple of days and weeks, and I don't like when heat index hits 100 all across the United States. It sucks. It sucks for football practice. I feel bad for those kids because I've been there. I feel bad for the Bears because they're having. You see video of them practicing, and you see the heat coming up. Like, it's the worst experience ever. And I don't care what anyone else says. It sucks running around with all the equipment and then having to drink all the water and do all this. Oh, man, it sucks. It sucks.
Yeah. Especially I remember those high school days when we had to do those 2-a-days. Pads and stuff in the morning time, and then in the afternoon, it's still hot. You do walkthroughs, but you still don't want to be out there because you had such a, hot thing.
Both times. I'm older than you, so I was doing pads all the time. That's just how it was. Water's for. Yeah, I'm not gonna say what they used to say, but yeah, it was not good. But we got through the first week of training camp with the Bears. A lot of things kind of changing. People are dealing with new things. Even people that have been with this team for a long time. Ben Johnson's running this entire team differently. Everyone has to play catch up. He's expecting them to get to a certain level, and he's demanding that from them immediately. So we all heard on day 2 with him telling the offensive team, get on the sidelines because you got stuck in. Braxton Jones having problems getting out of his stance. Look at him doing his best Charles Leno Jr. impression, false starts and all those things. It just wasn't. It's not a good beginning for those things. But this is what happens. They're not used to playing with tempo. So it's a lot of stuff going on. I'm gonna read you guys something from Ben Johnson today, okay? But you just let me know what you think, okay? They're talking about what's going on with Caleb today in practice. There isn't a lot of carryover from when he's asked to do the play calls or anything of that nature. I mean, he's always been very comfortable as a shotgun quarterback, going back to college and even last year. He's very comfortable in 2-minute drill. He's very comfortable with tempo type plays. And so now we're asking him to be a little bit more structured in terms of play calls. Sometimes there are multiple calls. There's a shift. There's motions. There's a lot more going on mentally than probably that he's ever been on for him. And so at this point, this thing will start slowing down. He's going to be able to catch up with, and his physical ability will take over from there. But right now, because mentally it is what it is, he's playing a little bit slower than what he's capable of. All right, I think that's just a little tidbit that's very much like what's going on for all the players, but specifically Caleb, because he's coming out of college. I talked about this when we were talking about drafting them and get rid of Justin. I said the problem is he has never been on a team where he had to show what he is. He had to rise to the occasion for the team. That's not what he's used to doing anymore. The offense is always built around him. This will be the first time he's going to have to adjust to a coach or to an offense. And my question is, can he do those things? We're going to find out a lot about this team very soon. And I don't think he's going to master it right away, but I think it's going to take him the first quarter of the season before you see him start to be able to run the offense the right way. And if it doesn't happen by then we'll know immediately it might not happen. What do you guys think about that?
Yeah. Yeah, but that's. I wouldn't say like first quarter. I'll say more like first 6 weeks. If he has mastered in the first 6 weeks, that's probably a big warning sign. So I'll give him a little bit more leeway, but still, if he hasn't mastered it by, let's say, halfway through the season, and we're like 3-5, and the offense ain't moving well, we can tell. We now know.
I'm not even saying master. I just want him to be able to call a game that makes sense. I don't think he's gonna master it his entire career. This will take years.
Yeah.
It took pure golf 4 to 6 years with his footwork and all those things to really become that player. I don't think he's gonna have any chance of that. I just want to see if he can call a play or call a game well.
Well, that alludes to your point. I was going to say the same thing you said, Brian. As far as it's not going to just be this year. He's not going to master it this year. I think Dan Orlovsky said it on ESPN that this might be a 3 to 5 year process for him, depending on how much Ben Johnson and throwing stuff at him. It's going to be a multiple year process for him, and I think you're seeing it now. There's going to be a lot of growing pains. Guys need to temper their expectations on this year because this is a new scheme coming in. We got to see the buy-in is there right now.
Mm-hmm.
But those dog days in October, getting into November, late in the season, and after the trade deadline, that's going to truly see has this team bought into Ben Johnson's philosophy. But like I said, I mean, the clock is ticking on Caleb. I know it's only going to be year 2 for him, but the clock is going to be ticking, especially with where he was drafted, how everything went last year. This year is going to be okay. New scheme. Can you adjust? Can you lead this team? Can you get a victory? That's the main thing that Bear fans all around the world want to know. Can you lead us to victory? And we're going to see how it goes.
It's going to be very interesting. So no matter what happens with Caleb, even if you want to kind of get away from this idea, he's going to be, compared to Justin Fields no matter what.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're now both on teams from head coaches from Detroit.
Yep.
First time head coaches.
Mm-hmm.
Top 12 defenses.
Yep.
A lot of talent around you.
Yeah.
And not a lot of expectation.
Yeah.
So, and one's Chicago, and the other one's New York. So media is going to be similar. All that's going to be very similar. If the Bears were right, the Bears will do well. Will be the one who come out on the winning end. If Justin Fields ends up having a better career, that will haunt all of them. And no matter we talking about polls or what, all of them will have problems with that. But this is going to be apples to apples. Same defense, same type of talent, all that stuff, new coach, all those things are still there. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, that's a good point to make. I still do think at the end of the day, if Justin and Caleb do go on to have pretty good careers, there's going to be people out there still saying Justin's trajectory still, is not mastered yet. If he goes out and balls out of New York, there's still going to be rumblings that, hey, you could have just kept him rather than go through the process over again. You still could have kept him. But like I said, polls
paid him.
Yeah, you would have to pay him earlier,
right?
So you wouldn't have the opportunity to get some of these players,
right?
So that's going to be a lot part of the comparison. But I think Justin he's young, guys. He's only 26. He just turned 26, so Justin has a long time, and this is going to be a lot. If he does well in the next 2 years and he stays in New York and makes that team a winner. It's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be very interesting.
There'll be some interesting discussions around this, around these parts, man. Especially if he's winning, because, like I said, especially for the truthers out there that want him to stay, it's gonna be a hard argument. That's why polls, even though he has an extension, a lot of pressure on polls right now, depending on what we do these next 3 to 5 years. But I mean, baby steps right now, but there's gonna be some conversations need to be had. So
agreed. I think that's what's going. That's something that's going to be there. They want competition, right? All these coaches are all talking about we want competition. We want to see what people do in these positions and everything. Well, guess what? The same thing's going to happen for the team. We want competition. We want to see you win. If you don't win, you don't produce, you're going to have the same problem. With all that being said, if Caleb shows, even if Justin has a great year, MVP type year, and Caleb shows that he throws the 4,000 yards and wins 9 or 10 games, no one's going to have a problem.
Nobody.
No one will have a problem. Everyone will say, well, you know what? He's doing well. We're doing well. All's well. It's fine because we got the younger guy. So, you know, it's going to be interesting to see. It's going to be interesting to watch going forward with that.
Yeah. Very interesting. Very interesting.
Okay. So now we don't just have a new offensive coach. We have a new defensive coach, right?
Yeah.
Dennis Allen trying to put his system in.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys heard. So it was like 78 to 80% of the time they're in nickel. I'm sorry, not nickel, dime. They're in dime. And Kyler Gordon specifically, he was the first person Dennis Allen mentioned when he was talking about the Bears, moved from outside corner to free safety to strong safety to nickel corner and all the defensive packages. He is in every single one. Do you think that's really good thing?
So they're trying to treat him like, since I'm a Michigan fan, try to treat him like the Viper position where have like Jabril Peppers, all like, hey, you're playing linebacker, you're playing safety, you play slot corner. You're playing all these three positions and we'll throw you out in any way possible. So it seems like they think he's the type of athlete that you could just place him anywhere in secondary and he's going to play amazing. So could be if he has the technical skill to do it. I see it's a good thing. Have versatility.
Okay. What about you, Grant?
I think it's an excellent idea. I mean, he's shown these past 3 years that he's capable of being moved around the field. They put him in blitz packages in the previous year. They put him slot corner. He could play outside. I mean, and he's a good run defender. Very good run defender.
Tackler. He's a
great tackler. So I think, and he alluded to it today in his press conference today. I don't know if you've seen it or not. You know, it's going to be basically him, Tremaine, TJ. And then he's going to talk about how Brisker may be coming from on the other side. He's going to get moved around as well. So, like I said, it could be the different packages that Dennis Allen can be able to throw in this hybrid defense that he has with using Kyler's athleticism, the way he runs to the football, as a nose for the football, can be a very, very, very interesting way we could use him. So, like I said, I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait.
I'm interested to see if the corner blitz comes from Kyler Gordon because he has such a good nose for the ball. If you put him on the outside, you're looking at blitzing him, or you're having him drop it to the flat because you want him closer to the line. I'll be interested to see if he, is that second linebacker, a third linebacker, basically on a lot of those plays because he's able to run and he's a solid person, So I'll be wondering if that's what happens with that. And then if you put your best receiver, if Jay Jettis is running and he's going to slot, you're not going to put him on anyone else. You got to tell Kyler Gordon to get him.
Yeah.
Either that or JJ when he's healthy, he does that again.
So
he's going to be a lot of man.
Yeah.
Ahead, man.
Do you think that since we're going to play a lot of dime, maybe we'll try since we're playing a lot of nickel and dime, would Smith be more useful now because he's actually going to be out there more often than not? Basically seeing the practices.
Smith, as in Terrell?
Terrell. Yeah, maybe it's like a six. If we're going dime, the have Kyler be more the linebacker and Terrell be more like the cover guy for like someone else.
Well, I think you still have to look at when JJ gets back. You still got to look at Tyreek Stevenson. You still got to look at. There's another corner. I forgot his name. That's rising. That's in place of JJ right now. Who's looking good out there? I forgot his name.
Zaf Frazier?
No. He's out with a personal issue. It's another corner they have right now. 6'5", the tallest corner they have. 6'5". They could use him depending on, because I haven't heard too many of Terrell Smith's name going on in camp. Is this guy that they've been talking about? He's been asking about him a lot. They've been asking
because he looks different, but I think Terrell Smith is still
of course
one of those special cover corners.
But I still think we do have probably potentially the best defensive backfield, one of the best top defensive backfields in the league. So we have options where we can use a Tyreek Stevenson and move him as extra, or put a Terrell Smith in there, or put the extra guy in there. We don't, like I said, we don't know how Dennis Allen, but he has a lot to play with, a lot of toys to play with as far as the defense is concerned in the secondary.
Yep. And then he's gonna like to put a lot of pressure on the quarterback with blitzes and things like that, which means that you might see less coming from the defensive end, which is interesting because Montez Sweat is killing it already, guys.
Yes,
he's already looked like he's in mid-season form. He is pressuring no matter what, if it's called or not called, he's just blowing by people. And I think a lot of that has to do with our tackles. Our tackles just don't have that understanding of the offense yet, So I think that that tells you a lot in itself. But guys, I mean, Montez plays the way he can play, and they push it back towards him. Push the ball back towards him, he might have a really big year. And I'm hoping that he has a big year and that he can really be something special on this defense. What do you think about Montez so far?
Yeah, he looks great. I feel like the plan. I think his plan is like force the quarterback to go to Montez Sweat's side, like push the pocket to go Montez Sweat, and let Sweat just wreak havoc when the quarterback moves over to him. So.
It seems like they're going to have a lot of run stoppers in there with Montez Sweat also. So have other people be the run stoppers and plug up the holes and have him go be the playmaker.
Yeah.
They'll be run stoppers and plug and create and just push the pocket.
I think too is just like with Montez, like, he was injured a lot last year. So we really didn't get the full, like the Montez from 2 years ago when he was healthy coming over from Washington. He was hurt and he had it was a shin. It's hard to get the burst off an injured shin. Shin splints and stuff. So that was hurting him a lot. But what I've seen in camp is him just wrecking havoc there. Offensive linemen they can't block him. I mean, they block him, but it's a struggle. You know what I mean?
They barely touching him.
They're barely touching
this dude.
But another guy that I've heard a lot of is the guy Grady Jarrett. He's been also killing it in camp for what I've been hearing. So you get them two, and we haven't even heard Javon's name like that. You know what I mean? And Javon, he had it coming off a pretty good year last year. Like I said, it could be a dangerous, to see what they do with a Dingbo. Are they gonna move him inside, keep him outside? It all depends on what's going on. But Montez Sweat sets the tone for that D line. He sets the tone. He's the lead. He's the unspoken leader on that D line.
He should be the spoken leader.
Yeah, should be the spoken leader, but Grady Jarrett been doing a lot of talking instead of him. So, like I said, if Montez comes out with even close to what his normal self is, it could be a big year for that defensive line.
Okay. So it's not just about the defense. We've had a lot of things going on in defense, but offense has some stuff. I don't know if you guys even know who this guy is. Wide receiver JP Richardson.
Oh yeah. He
was wide receiver.
TCU.
Yep.
Yeah.
Making plays all over the place.
6'5". He was when looking for. They say he was one of the undrafted signees that they signed immediately. They thought he had potential, but they didn't draft him. But he's 6'5". He can catch. He has very good hands.
He and Tyson Bagent are connected. They are catching everything together. It is amazing.
Yeah.
I think, did you guys see that one hand catch he had from Bagent?
Yeah. And Bajan's been lighting it up in camp. I know he's been lighting up in camp. He's taking Ben Johnson offense by storm, man. He's looking comfortable in the pocket. He's making the right decisions. The second team offense looks pretty good from what I've seen.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah.
And that's something we're going to keep our eye on, because is he going to be able to make a team? We have so much talent, but maybe they take a guy who's more of a try hard that you can play on special teams, that could block, that'll be willing to go do whatever needs to happen, over someone that's been on the team, that's been expected to make the team, but actually is not doing as well.
Yeah.
So that would be interesting in itself. But JP Richardson is not the only wide receiver making noise. Luther Burden finally practiced, but he's way behind on everything. He doesn't know anything what everyone else is doing, so he's having a hard time, getting onto the field, which is probably okay with him because he needs to learn the game and he's not going to bust in right away anyway. But Roma Dunze seems to be doing well already. He and Caleb are just doing well. They're on the same page. It seems like he is the prototypical X that Ben Johnson needs in his offense. He is doing all the things that everyone loves. He's blocking. His energy is contagious. So I'm really interested to see what Roma Dunze has. I mean, he's been coming down with all the 50-50 balls. He's not a rookie anymore. So he's going to be back to that Washington dude. That every ball that got thrown up there seemed to be coming down. He comes down with. What do you think about him?
Well, we need the perfect. He's perfect for Caleb. Like big body, I could trust him. Just put it near him. And since it's his second year, I think he's prime. I think he's primed for 1,000-yard season. I think he's primed.
I'm not disagreeing with you. He had 700 last year. Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with you.
Yeah,
and that was, and the people told a lot of people that was a quiet 700. People calling him a bust. I'm like, he had 700 yards last year with Keenan Allen and
Keenan Allen from him,
and DJ Moore. But like I said, I'm not surprised by Rome's being transcendent as he is. He's like we've seen in Washington. He's that guy with Penix. Him and Penix had a great rapport. He came down with the 50-50 balls. I mean, like I said, he is. We saw it in the combine. Very hard worker. Routes are stout. You know, he doesn't take a rep off. None of that stuff. So I think with him, it's all about just. I think last year the main thing his problem was catching the football consistently and lining up. But those are rookie things. He looks like an established vet now. I mean, he said in an interview a couple of days ago, like. You know, he has the whole. I'm in the NFL now. He knows his routine. He knows what he has to eat, the nutrition, the weightlifting. So you can tell on the field, like obviously he's gotten the offseason with Caleb, and they've built an even bigger rapport. He said he worked out with them some, but it remains, like I said, he may eventually take over that X role.
That's why my next question is it possible that Roma Dunze takes over the number one wide receiver spot?
Yeah.
I think it probably is better for both of them. Better, like he has the prototypical X. He could be the Jameson Williams, like space it out, but DJ could be the Amon-Ra, like go underneath, find spaces, catch the ball, get yards at the catch. Just be what your best position with is. So, like get in between, be smart, and just use your physicality to get all the yards you need afterwards.
Yeah. So my answer is no. My answer is that DJ Moore, if Caleb has to learn to play within the pocket, DJ Moore is always open. And as long as he doesn't, loaf on him, I think this offense, they'll make him Amon-Ra St. Brown, and he'll have 125 targets.
Yeah.
And Roman usually might have 1,000 yards, but he might only have, 90 targets.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking. I still think DJ Moore is going to be the number one guy. And I think the offense is going to make it be that way because one's a Z, one X, Y. We can have our tight ends there for our Y position. That Z and the X are just who they are. So I'm expecting that DJ Moore has a better year this year, and he actually goes for 1,300 yards. So I'm going for DJ Moore. With Rome still getting over 1,000.
Well, if that happens, Caleb got to hit 4,000. Caleb got to hit if that happens, got to hit 4,000. I mean, it just for me. I feel like even Colston Loveland's getting in on the action. He was with the ones today. So and you know what I mean. And like I said, if Colston, the way he's been looking at camp, without the videos I've seen from him, I mean, for Caleb, like I said, the weapons are out there for you. You just have to find a way to be the point guard. Like you alluded to it too, Brian. He has to find a way to be a good point guard. That will make this team
them the ball in a good position. Here's my question. Did you guys notice that when Colston's out there, that Komet's also out there?
Well, I heard today he was on the second team a lot too.
So when they were out there a lot, I saw a lot of plays where it was double tight.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I did see Loveland with the second team a lot. I don't know if anyone told you that. I saw Met on both sides.
Right.
But he stayed on the field, both first and second team. Colston only played on the first team a lot, So you know what I'm saying? Like Colston commit between first and second team stayed on the field the entire time.
Right.
He wasn't being subbed out.
Mm-hmm.
But Colston, which I think is because of his injury and he's not necessarily in football shape, was pretty much only with the first team.
Yeah.
I don't know if that has anything to do with what they're going to do coming up, but it's interesting in itself. I want to come revisit something that we talked about with Luther Burden. Of all the rookies, he seems to be the furthest behind.
Yeah.
Mostly because of his injury.
Well, Monungai, who, I'm not a huge Monungai guy, whatever, seems to be doing well, even though Roshan is doing too. What Swift is doing good, and Roshan's doing really well. But Monungai seems to be doing well and understanding what he's doing. I still think he's too slow, but he's doing well.
Yeah.
We just talked about Colston Loveland.
Yeah.
We know what's going on in that tackle position. It seems like Luther Burden is the one, and you're like, man, dude.
I'm not worried about Luther Burden. I'm not worried about him. Because like I said, you missed a lot of time. And with rookies, it's bad to miss a lot of time. But I also like too that they alluded to it today. He was in there with the first team on 11-11 for the first team, and he couldn't line up correctly. And Ben Johnson pulled him out of there and got him out of there. So that shows that what I like about what Ben Johnson is doing. We talked about this when he first hired him. Are we going to hold these players accountable? Nothing is given. We got guys. With Burden, we got guys. Zacchaeus, who's out there knowing his role, doing what he needs to do, catching the football. So that should put a lot of pressure on Burden to say, look, I need to lock in on this playbook, because if I don't, they got guys behind me that can play just as well as me, do the things better than me, that've been in this league longer. But I'm not really concerned with Luther Burden because he's just now coming back. But it does show that they're already throwing him in there in the 11-11 with the ones. So that shows they believe in him, but they're not going to kind of like spoon feed him to getting him back into game shape and getting his mental right for knowing the playbook. That's all going to be on him. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's all going to be on you. You're going to have to figure it out. So like I said, I'm not concerned about him, but I do feel that today shows that nothing is guaranteed. You get out there and earn your reps, and you make the most of them. But it is encouraging to see these back on the football field, padded up with the ones, only on a little bit of an occasion. But it's good to see, though.
Yeah, I don't know if he knows what he's doing, so why put it with the ones? It's gonna take some time for him to really understand this offense and how complex it is. It's taking guys that have been in here for a long time, knowing what they're doing. So it's going to be yet to be seen. All right, so when we get to talk about this tackle battle, are you surprised that Braxton Jones has not taken this job? You would think that with his experience and all this stuff that he comes in and he's like, yeah, Shapillo out, Amagaji out. I got this. This is my job. But by all sounds that I'm hearing from training camp, any three of these guys could be a starter.
It's Ozzy's job to lose. It's Ozzy's job to lose. They want Ozzy to win that job. But I'm gonna go to Amagaji. From what I've been hearing, he's looked like a totally different person to what he was last year. That Rochard, the offensive line coach, they said he changed his stance. They changed his footwork. He looks like a totally different guy than when we looked last year. We looked lost out there. He looks totally different. So I don't know. Braxton Jones better watch out, because he may be the third left tackle if Amagaji stays on his trend and Ozzy stay on his trend. I mean, I'm just saying. He may not even be on his team.
I'm looking at Amagaji. I don't see him as a left tackle.
You see him as left guard, right?
I'm seeing him more and more as a right tackle.
Oh, right tackle.
He's a lot more physical than I thought he was. He's very athletic around the ball. He gets around guys quickly, but I feel like he has the feet, but he's not a great pass blocking stance. Trapillo, Ozzy is a better pass blocker. Braxton Jones, when all things are equal, is good, but you got to pay him soon. So why start the guy that you're going to have to pay soon?
Right. Ozzy. They want Ozzy to win that job because they have more control over him. They moved him over there for a reason. They want him to win that job. And like I said, he's a big guy, man. I mean, like I said, I think even as the whole offensive line gels together, Ben Johnson said he's trying to figure out the best 5 to put out there. But it's mainly just focused on the left tackle position. That's the main focus.
We
now.
know the other
We know
positions.
the other guys. We know the other guys. It's just that left tackle position that's kind of like holding everything up. But from the videos I've seen, I know it's just training camp, and I know it's just this your own team. It's night and day for the last few years. Them guys are making a wall for Caleb from what I've seen in camp. He's having able to move up in the pocket. He's having time. I mean, it looks night and day from what we've been seeing the last few years with the offensive line. These guys look like they're.
I don't know. Montez Sweat still is living back there.
Yeah, I mean it's Montez Sweat though. But I'm looking at the videos that I've seen as far as the protection wise. They giving Caleb a lot of time back there. I know it's just a sample size. We don't know when it gets to the real games, but it looks far different than what we've seen before.
I love these training camps, guys. When we get everyone excited, so like even you see the regular players are really excited to go out there, do something special, and talk about all this stuff that they're doing and enjoying it, and everyone is buying in early because they all believe this could be something special. I love seeing this, and this is my favorite part.
Yeah.
When is the first game?
First true game was like 2 weeks
first
now.
preseason game.
Next week, right?
It's next week, guys. We have only 1 week before preseason football. Are you ready for that? When's the?
Yeah.
Do you realize the first real game is this week? Like a preseason game is this week?
Is this week or next week?
The Hall of Fame game.
Hall of Fame game. Mm-hmm.
That's Thursday, right?
It's Thursday. We are only 2 days away for the Los Angeles Los Angeles Chargers, right? It's the Chargers versus Detroit. I know it's Detroit. 7 o'clock, guys, on NBC. We're going to be able to see real football in 2 days.
Yeah.
Dude,
yeah.
It is flying. I cannot believe it.
Yeah, man. And we're about to be like at 40 days until week 1 or something like that.
We're way under that now. Yeah,
way under that. So I mean, like I said, it's time. I'm done. I'm glad we will finally have something to talk about, football related.
So the first game of the season is the 4th, right, of September.
Yes, that's the Eagles and the Cowboys.
That's 4
in Brazil.
That's 4 weeks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
We're so like days wise, we have 2 left in July, right?
Yeah.
30 days in August, or 31 days in August. 31 days in August. So that's 33 and then 4. That's 37 days till we have real regular season football. So that's why this camp getting on the right foot matters. You have to learn as much as you can. Hopefully this team comes together. There's going to be a lot to see upcoming. We're going to see these joint practices. I know we got the Bills. Those are going to be really fun to watch and kind of gauge what we're going to get from this team. As we get closer to that game, we'll start giving our records for the season. We'll talk about what we expect to see from the season, and we'll look at the first quarter of the season and decide, were we right or wrong, or did we miss something? Totally. I'm excited by it, though. You guys looking forward to anything in particular?
I want to see how the offense, like during the preseason, how the offense handles, and like we know he won't see it. We probably will see him in the first week, since first couple weeks. How Caleb
he needs all the reps he can get.
Yeah, might play all 3 weeks.
I do want to 2 things I want to look at. Is how the rookies adjust. The Burdens, the Lovelands, the Manung guys, how do they adjust to the NFL? What roles? I know it's going to be a lot of vanilla offense, vanilla defense. What are their roles are going to look like? And then another thing is just how Jaquan Brisker is going to what his role is going to be, especially him coming back off that concussion. He alluded to that he's been itching to get back on the field. He called himself a ball hawk playmaker, which he is. When healthy,
he is. Just stay away from. Don't leave with your face.
Leave with your head.
Yeah. Hey, leave with your body. Hey, aim for like the midsection. Aim for the midsection.
Just
But
don't
leave with your
concussions.
head, man. You know what I mean? Leave with your shoulder. Don't leave with your head. So I feel like that's going to be an interesting thing to do with him. I think he's in for a big year. Contract year 2, I think, for him. I think he's in for a big year to prove himself and see what he can do at the safety position, especially with the Dennis Allen's defense. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Makes sense. All right, guys. So we're gonna come back and we'll talk about this next week after week 2. Lead up to the next game, the first preseason game that we're gonna have. Can't wait to talk about what's going on in camp next week. Tomorrow we'll be on Dynasty Pylon. I'll be doing Dynasty Pylon. We're going to do another draft. I believe it's the AFC South draft. So if you want to jump in with us on our sleeper app, we'll be doing that live, having a lot of good time. And remember, whoever wins out these drafts for just the divisions, whoever wins gets a free jersey. We'll be giving that out. So those are all really cool things. I am glad that we were able to do this. I'm glad we were able to talk about the Bears. I'm glad we were under 35 days to the beginning of the season. Yeah. You guys got anything else before we get out of here?
No, man. All I'm gonna say
we already see some people fall to the typical training camp injuries. Some people that seasons ends early, but hey, that's training camp.
Like I said, I just like what I see about with Ben Johnson holding people accountable. Just remember, can he stay on this same path as the year goes on? And our guys are going to stay buying into him. So, like I said, but we'll see. We'll talk about that in the upcoming weeks before the season starts. And then once the season starts, we're going to be here talking about it every Tuesday. So, looking forward to that.
All right, guys. I just want to remind you that we have new coaches everywhere, and until they're ready for to do their job well, this team is still going to be wanting. If they are run into their job and enjoy it and do it well, this team will be successful.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you guys for joining us to the Panda and Grizzly Show. We will see you again next week. Once again, I said Dynasty Pylon will be here on Wednesday, and then Sunday we'll be on the Morning Spike, going through everyone's lineups, trying to get you ready for your redraft drafts. And until then, I'm Brian the Grizzly with Grant the Cub and Baron. We'll see you guys later.
Go Bears.
Go back.
We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so